And it's Black Friday. It's the shopping day for everybody. I hopefully was able to go out shopping and get some things for people because I have not as of yet, which is kind of funny to say because I'm recording this Sunday. It is currently Friday. So I haven't bought anything yet for people, but hopefully throughout this week I'll be able to get some stuff. Alright, so we're still with Abram. Chapter 16 is Hagar and Ishmael. Now Sarai, Abram's wife, had borne him no children, but she had an Egyptian slave named Hagar. So she said to Abram, "The Lord has kept me from having children. Go sleep with my slave. Perhaps I can build a family through her." Abram agreed to what Sarai said. So after Abram had been living in Canaan 10 years, Sarai his wife took her Egyptian slave Hagar and gave her to her husband to be his wife. He slept with Hagar and she conceived. When she knew she was pregnant, she began to despise her mistress. Then Sarai said to Abram, "You are responsible for the wrong I am suffering." Wait a second, wasn't it her idea? Okay, hold on. I gotta go back to that. I put my slave in your arms, and now that she knows she is pregnant, she despises me. May the Lord judge between you and me. Your slave is in your hands, Abram said. Do with her whatever you think is best. Then Sarai mistreated Hagar, so she fled from her. The angel of the Lord found Hagar near a spring in the desert. It was the spring that is beside the road to Shur. And he said, "Hagar, slave of Sarai, where have you come from, and where are you going?" "I'm running away from my mistress Sarai," she answered. Then the angel of the Lord told her, "Go back to your mistress and submit to her." The angel added, "I will increase your descendants so much that they will be too numerous to count." The angel of the Lord also said to her, "You are now pregnant, and you will give birth to a son. You shall name him Ishmael, for the Lord has heard of your misery. He will be a wild donkey of a man. His hand will be against everyone, and everyone's hand against him, and he will live in hostility toward all his brothers." She gave this name to the Lord who spoke to her. "You are the God who sees me." For she said, "I have now seen the one who sees me." That is why the well was called Bir Lahai Roy. It is still there between Kadesh and Bered. So Hagar bore Abram a son, and Abram gave the name Ishmael to the son she had born. Abram was 86 years old when Hagar bore him Ishmael. Alright, a lot to unpack on this one. At least in my mind, I think it is. So Sarai comes up with this idea because the Lord has kept her from having children. She says, "Here, go have kids with my slave, and perhaps I can build a family through her." So this was her idea. Abram agreed to it. And then once she was pregnant, she began to despise her mistress. So why would she despise? So maybe it's not Sarai's fault. So Hagar started to despise Sarai. But then Sarai turns around and says, "Abram, you are responsible for the wrong I am suffering." But indirectly, she's responsible for the wrong. Okay, hold on. Yeah, look at this. I'm trying to be delicate with the Bible, but I'm also very interested to figure this out. So Sarai told Abram to have a child with her slave. Then once she became pregnant, Hagar, the slave, just started to despise Sarai, to which Sarai said, "It's Abram's fault. And then may the Lord judge between you and me." Then Abram said, "Do with her whatever you think best." So then Sarai mistreated Hagar to make her, flee from her, to where she runs into the Lord, or the angel of the Lord. It's interesting how some people, Abram had direct contact with God. He was talking to God, or God was giving him a vision directly. And Hagar is talking to an angel of the Lord. So it's very interesting how some people talk right with God, some people talk with an angel. Some people get visions, some people face to face. It's interesting how, I don't know if there's a pattern of who he picks and chooses how to contact who. But, I thought that was kind of interesting that she ran into an angel of the Lord. He bore to a son named Ishmael. So then he says that the son that Hagar is having with Abram will be a wild donkey of a man. His hand will be against everyone, and everyone's hand against him. So does that mean he's going to be at odds with everybody, and everybody will be at odds with him? A wild donkey of a man. Look, behavior, um, I don't know, it doesn't specify yet. And he will live in hostility toward all his brothers. So I think he's just going to be like, nobody will get along with him. He won't get along with anybody else. But then, so there's a footnote that says, in hostility toward or live to the east of. I'm not sure. I'm not sure what that means. Yeah. And then it goes on, you are the God who sees me. For she said, I have now seen the one who sees me. That is why the well was called, was she even by a well? Oh, a spring. Okay, so found Hagar near a spring in the desert. It was a spring that is beside the road to Shur. So spring and well are interchangeable, I guess. Yeah. And the well was called Bir Lahai Roy. It's still there between Kadesh and Bered. Be kind of cool. See if we can find a picture of it. Somebody let me know. All right. And then Abram was 86 when Hagar bore Ishmael. 86 years old. Can you imagine that? 86. That would be, let's see, my grandfather, I believe, is 84. So Abram was 2 years older than my grandfather when he had his first son. That's just, I believe I will not be understating it or overstating it when I say that that would just be insane nowadays. To think about, at least. I mean, if God wanted it to happen, it would happen without problems, but I just, we think about that, 86 years old and having your first kid. I don't know, kind of interesting. Hope everybody had a good shopping day. Tomorrow's Saturday, so we just get to enjoy our weekend after eating all day yesterday. And I'll have another episode up for you guys tomorrow. But enjoy your Friday, and we'll see you then.